Hello, my name is Vinayak Diodi and today I'm going to discuss the chapter number 3, values and types. Going on with this chapter, first topic is character sets in Java. There are mainly three characteristics: alphabetical from A to Z, from small a to Z, from 0 to 9, and some symbols like star, hashtag, dollar, and semicolon, curly braces, bracket, square bracket, these all things, etc. 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 How characters are stored in memory? By two ways: ASCII and Unicode. What is ASCII? American Standard of Information Interchange, and Unicode stands for Universal Coded Character. Okay, what is ASCII? It is just a memory in like it's just a uh, term through which whatever we type in Java gets stored. For particular letter, a particular code is generated. Like for capital A, remember capital A, the code is 65. But for small a, the code is 97. Yes, for small a, the code is 97. Okay, now it stores this whole things in 7 bits. That is, if I talk about A, capital A, that has a Unicode 65. So it goes like 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. So 7 bits, 5 6 7, 7 bits. Okay, where starting and last has 1 and the middle filled with zeros, 5 zeros and 2 1. Okay, now Unicode. Before going to Unicode, let me tell you, from capital A to capital Z, that is the ASCII code is 65 to 90. From small a to small z, the ASCII code is 97 to 122, and from 0 to 9, the ASCII code is 48 to 57. Okay, let's go to Unicode. Unicode is like much better, I would say, than ASCII. Why? Because ASCII only understands English, but Unicode understands Hindi, English, French, and many more languages. There is a benefit in this. It also generates binary code to accept each number. Like it has a call like this one, colon, whatever, I don't know the name. This is called colon, and U0932. What does it represent? It represents la, that is in la for lattu. That is the word that is called that is in uh, Hindi word. Now for euro sign, that is like this, and two parallel lines between the C, this is called slash, and U20 capital A capital C. This is a Unicode. So this is 8 like it represents character, and that's it, nothing in this. Now comparison between ASCII and Unicode. Mainly there are 2-3 comparisons that is broadly classified as. ASCII requires less space. It requires less space than Unicode because it requires more space. ASCII is like uh, ASCII, and ASCII requires 1 byte to represent a character, whereas Unicode requires 4 byte. So less space, more space. Okay, 2 comparisons are done. Now escape sequence character. In Java there are 8 escape sequence characters: for carriage return, for new tab, for backslash, for backspace, and lot of things. Okay, for getting a form feed, so slash f. These all are the things that are required, that come under escape sequence character. Okay, different escape sequence character have different functions. Like, why do we need escape sequence character, if someone asks you? So in Java, if you have to use a double quote, or if you want to desire to use a single quote, you the Java will not understand that how this two semicolon occurred here. Like one was for the main system.println, you are must to write that the two semicolons. But why you entered these two pairs again? Java will not understand that. So for that reason, escape sequence are used for making a sentence. If you desire to make it a double quote under a single quote, you must go for the uh, escape sequence characters. Now if you want to write dear friends and make a comma and make the next line uh, uh, dear friends, please come to my home, thank you. Okay, please come to my home, like you want a party tonight, so you wrote the message. But you will write a dear friend, then system dot println, please come to my home, then system dot println, thank you. No, these, if you suppose you had lot of messages and you have to again and again write system dot println, no, just go for escape sequence and it will sort it out. Like you make slash n for new line, slash t for a tab space. In a single line you can do lot of things. This is why escape sequence is used basically in Java. Now coming on to tokens. Tokens are basically building blocks of cells. Why they are called building blocks? Because they are really small things that are necessary while writing a code in Java. They contain obviously a lot of things. You can understand this thing like a cell. In our body, cell is the most small macroscopic things in our body. Okay, cell forms tissue form organs. Just like that, token also act as a cell. It contains various things. 6 things are included in it, as much I remember. 5 things are included in this. What are they? They are literals, identifiers, punctuators, operators, separators. No, not separators, but keywords. Okay, they are the, you can say, most required part while writing a code. I don't think without them Java will be possible. Why? Keywords are necessity, identifiers are necessity, operators, separators, these are just a necessity things. Okay, now going to this, let's go to keywords. There are 53 keywords as per given in this blue book. There are 53 keywords like new keyword, catch, try, switch, case, if, else, class. There are in among not only these, there are a lot of keywords in Java. Then coming to identifiers. What are identifiers? Identifiers are just, they will just tell you the naming pattern, that how you write name in a Java. Like you are writing a class name, so you cannot start with any number. Now you are writing a class name, you cannot add any operator, plus, minus, multiply sign in between them, or in the starting or the ending. Now you are writing again the class name, you cannot use white space. So these are the requirements. You cannot use a keyword as if you write class if, no, you cannot do that, because it is a reserved word. Keywords are reserved words that you must not use in your coding. Okay, but wherever they are required, not everywhere. Like you are writing the class name as a keyword, no, this is not acceptable by the Java. Now coming to literals. Literals itself contain lot of things. 6 things are there. First of all, integer literal, boolean literal, floating literal, string literal, character literal, null literal. These are the things. So everything have their own what you call category. Like if you want to write a character literal, you will write character ch. This is called ch is the literal here. String s, or you can use another word letter. We don't care about that. But the whatever you write after string, that is called literal. So here it is mentioned also that literals are values that can be stored in the variables. Unlike variables, they cannot be changed once assigned. If you have assigned string s, then it will be string s. Now this cannot be changed. Okay. Then coming to operators. Operators are of 6 types: arithmetic, ternary, unary, relational, logical, and last one is what is called assignment operator. Arithmetic, plus, minus, divide, multiply. Unary uh, unary, that is question mark and semicolon, these all things, and lot of things else. Okay, coming to separators are just comma and semicolon and brackets, all these three types of brackets. Okay, then coming to punctuators are two blocks, two dots, and what and a semicolon. Okay. Okay, now data types are of two types. What are they? They are primitive and non-primitive. What is primitive data type? It contains again four things: integer, floating, boolean, character. Then coming to non-primitive: class, object, interface, string. Yes, I am correct. Class, object, interface, string. Either you write class or you write object, it is acceptable. Object, array is also included. Okay, now primitive data types. In primitive data types, it comes integer has byte, short, int, float, double. Okay, byte, short, int, float, double, long. Yes, as far as I remember, byte, short, int, long. Byte, short, int, long. Yes. Now what are the ranges of these and what are the default values? So default values of byte, short, int is 0.0 or 0, not 0.0, I'm sorry, only 0, and the long has default value 0l. Now the range of byte is 2 to the power minus 31 to 9, 2 to the power minus 128 to plus 127. Byte short has a range of minus 3 to 678, minus 3 to 768 to minus 3 to 767. Oh, sorry, plus 3 to 767. Okay. Then we have int, byte short int, that is minus 2 to the power minus 63 to the power 63 minus 1. Then we have long, that is int has 2 to the power minus 31 to 2 to the power plus 31 minus 1, and then long has 2 to the power minus 60 to the power 63 minus 1. Okay, then comes floating point type. Floating point type is of two types: float and double. Float is like 4 bytes and double is of 8 bytes, that is obvious, and float has a default value 0.0f and double has a default value 0.0 d or 0.0. Character type: char has bytes, 2 bytes, and boolean has 1 bit. Then coming to non-primitive data types. Non-primitive, what are the difference between primitive and non-primitive? Primitive are built-in, non-primitive are user-defined, and one more difference is to use primitive, new keyword is mandatory, is not required, and to use non-primitive, new keyword is mandatory. So these are the differences. Then coming to variable, declaring a variable is like you name it as int a equal to 25, double b equal to 2.7. You can declare a int variable in double also. It will by default get like double. Okay, it will by default saved it like double. Coming to assigning a value, so you can assign a value like by two methods: static declaration and by dynamic declaration. Static is like you make like int a equals to 7 and you make int b equal to int a b c you wrote, है ना, static, and then you make it like a equal to 4, b equal to 6 and c equal to 7. What is dynamic? Dynamic is like no, I made a mistake. Static is like int a and a equal to 4, done. Dynamic is like int a b c, c equal to a plus b. This is called dynamic. Now coming to types of conversion. There are mainly two type of conversion: implicit, explicit. Implicit is like converting the small ones to greater ones, and explicit is like converting the greater ones to small ones. Implicit is small, yes, correct. How do we do this? By a very fantastic syntax. That is, if I have to convert something of double into int, I will write like it like int variable, that is a I am taking, equals int to which I am going to store it, equals 7.5, that is the double value. This is the syntax. This is the syntax. It's like data type variable, enclosing within the bracket the data type and the variable to be converted, and the digit to be converted. How do we do it? Right, explicit method. I told you the explicit type conversion. Okay. Variable data type, variable to be converted. Okay. That was explicit, like how you convert the bigger ones to smaller ones. Okay. Yeah, sure. That's all. Thank you.